Romney here, trying to pass on some of the helpful tips that I've gotten from my PvP partner, Meesterwolf, such as tip number 1. Why do you need resilience or damage boosting capabilities when you can just stack stamina? Ignore those socket bonuses and just gem for pure stamina.
And they're off. It's Paladin Warrior. Now I know Meesterwolf wants to go for their healer, and I think that this warrior wants to come charge me. So I'm trying to LOS the charge, and I'm just running away until he gets engaged. And I'm going to pause it right here. And from my perspective, I can see that Meesterwolf has now attacked the warrior and has them in combat. So I'm going to go up there and help him out. So here I come, but he's not there. Oh crap, he charged me. Wait a minute, Meesterwolf, where are you? There's Meesterwolf, trying to get up that ramp on the left side. He was actually a bit too tall for him right at that area, so he just jumped and kind of fell back down. But that brings us to tip number 2. After initiating combat, try to jump off the bridge and run to the far side of the arena. The further you run away, the more confused your enemies will be. They won't know what to make of your tactics, and they'll get mentally confused and weak and allow for you to easily get a kill. So Meesterwolf is coming back to join me, and the warrior's on me, like he wanted to be, but through disperse, and look how I'm pillaring here. I'm just running around the pillar and he's chasing me. He can't get to me because I'm keeping him on the opposite side of the pillar. I only lost 7% of my life during that exchange, so that's pretty good. I come back up here to help out, coming in for a fear, and we're on the Paladin. Now here I'm going to pause the video once again because Paladin's getting really low, and you see this targeting circle right there? That's me trying to dispel Divine Shield. Unfortunately, you see the Paladin has jumped off of the bridge, and I do not get a dispel on his bubble. The warrior then uses throwdown to keep me on the bridge, and I can't get to the bubble, so the Paladin gets to heal up to full. The warrior's been on me since we've been up on top of the bridge, and I'm starting to get really low. So I fear him. I do try to put up some dots, but I really gotta get away. I know my dispersion's about to come off the cooldown, so I use it and I try to once again run around the pillar, keeping him on the opposite side of the pillar, so he can't touch me. There's a fear, and now I can start to heal up. And now kids, we're about to move into tip number 3. Here it comes. Tip number 3. No matter how hectic the arena match gets, there's always time to stand around and type out a question to your teammates. Ask them what they're doing, what they're not doing. For example, here, Meesterwolf asked me, why aren't you killing the Paladin? Very important, communication. Tip number 3. Always question your teammates. Now, here I think this is a pretty good example of how to correctly pillar melee. Try to keep them on the opposite side of the pillar, and this whole time that the warrior is running around the pillar, he is not doing damage to me. As long as I keep him on the opposite side, he cannot connect. So their team is putting out 0 damage. He's just running around trying to chase me. Now, you say Romney, but you're not putting out any damage either. Don't worry, I have Meesterwolf. He's owning that Paladin. Look at him. That Paladin is almost down to 90%. That is why you run 2 DPS. Moving on to tip number 4. We're about to run around the pillar, everybody. there's Mr. Wolf chasing the paladin around the pillar, and here I get a fear on everybody, and Mr. Wolf is a NASCAR fan. Sometimes when you get him turning left, he just kind of gets set on that pattern and just keeps going left, even when his target goes right. Here, when it unpauses, you want to see him come to his senses and turn around. But tip number 4, NASCAR rocks. Okay, so coming up here, I'm going to put some dots on the paladin, and I'd like to point out a really cool move that this warrior does. Okay, I'm going to put some dots up and then divine him so I can get mana back to heal. After I fear the warrior, of course. And look what he does. I'm not within line of sight to charge, so he heroic leaps to a charge position and then gets his charge off. I thought that was a brilliant move. So, as you can see from this video, the Death Knights are a very underpowered class. And until Blizzard decides to buff them, if you're playing Death Knight, you really need to find somebody of like 2400 rating that can carry you in the arena. Because Death Knights are just that underpowered. I mean, look at the Paladin at full health, almost full mana. After 6 minutes, and I know 6 minutes of play is way too long to be in the arena. And that brings us to tip number 5. Sometimes, just quit. You should just throw in the towel, abandon your teammate, and just give up. That's tip number 5. Just give up. Well, Mr. Wolf, thank you very much for your PvP lessons. It was a pleasure learning from you. Good luck.